The hotelplanner.com PGA EuroPro Tour is halfway through its Scottish swing. We've had the stunning parkland of the Newmarket golf course, we've had the historic Montrose golf links, and now we've come to the west coast for the breathtaking scenery of Mar Hall. Hello and welcome to the Glenfarclas Open here at the stunning grounds of the Earl of Mar estate on the banks of the River Clyde. Traditionally, this is an event which provides plenty of entertainment. We usually see a fair birdie or two, but when the winds get up, this course has a real sting in its tail. Well, last year it was amateur Craig Ross that took this event by storm with an opening round of 63 and a closing round of 64 to win the event with a score of 16 under. As you can see, the weather hasn't been kind and scoring is at a premium. With 4 of our winners taking part, this could be the tightest event so far. Here's what's coming up in the next 2 hours. John E. Morgan gives us an insight into this short but tricky track.
That's how it's supposed to be done.
We catch up with Lloyd Saltman and his new vision for the future.
You commit to keeping playing this game and keep working hard, you have to find somewhere to play, and we're fortunate enough we have tours like the EuroPro that we're able to come back and play on.
We test the players on their Scottish trivia.
Kilimanjaro.
Gonna go with sheep. Muirfield.
I haven't got a clue.
And we continue to build our fantasy golf course with the winner at Montrose Golf Links, James Wilkinson. Well, all of that still to come, but first of all, I'm now joined by Andrew McIntyre, who is the head professional here at Mar Hall Golf Club. Andrew, thank you for joining us.
Nice to see you.
Tell me what an event like the Glenfarclas Open does for a club like Mar Hall.
I think it really just raises the profile of the venue, and in all honesty, we're delighted to have the tour back here again. I think the standard's fantastic. The score in the first couple of days has been really, really good. I think more importantly, we're delighted that Glenfarclas have chosen again to partner with us. The event was particularly successful last year. We're delighted the relationship's continued this year, and we're hopeful that for years to come it will continue to strengthen.
Now, you'll know the course well. Tell us what challenges players might face here.
The main defence out there are the undulating greens. If they get the pace up, which they have done this week, and you get on the wrong side of some of the flags, definitely you're going to see some free putts out there. So just kind of managing your way around the course, shot selection, making sure that you're on the right side of the pins, avoiding the deep bunkers. That's probably the main challenges out there that we'll face.
And have you spoke to any of the players? Do you know how they've been finding it?
Yeah, feedback's been good so far. First couple of days the weather was quite kind there, so the course was looking fantastic. Gordon Kerr and his team have worked really, really hard. Allied to some nice weather as well in the lead up to the event. So the rough's up as well. So real nice definition out there. So yeah, guys are having good fun.
Well, Andrew, thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully the weather is going to pick up a little bit, but it's time now to pass over to our resident pro, John E. Morgan, who is walking the track and letting us know what our players can expect this week.
Well, Laura, here at Mar Hall this week, absolutely beautiful venue, not the longest of tracks that we'll play this season on the PGA EuroPro Tour. At 6,500 yards long, it does have 1 or 2 major factors though, which is going to cause havoc for the players. Wind, guaranteed here in Bonnie, Scotland, guaranteed, you know, coming off the Clyde right there. And also the greens are tiny. I mean, it's like landing it on a table. It's so difficult out there, and the greens are rapid, they're pretty fast, they're slopey, so it's going to cause a little bit of havoc for the players when they're playing shots in. And the trick is, don't get lazy on your shots. You're going to be going in there with a short club in your hand, and you really need to concentrate. If you don't and you miss it, well, you're going to rack up a bogey or 2 or maybe 3. It's a great golf course, this Mar Hall. I think the boys are going to enjoy it.
Thanks, John. Time now to have a look at the main contenders after the first 2 rounds of the Glenfarclas Open. Aaron Rai hasn't missed a cut yet this season and is hunting down his first EuroPro win after a bogey-free 36 holes has given him a 2-shot lead here at Mar Hall.
Played pretty steady so far. Played well tee to green first day, took a few chances. Yesterday it was a bit trickier, there was a bit more wind out there, so I think 2 under was a pretty good score, so very happy over the first 2 days.
Hot on his tail are 3 players tied on 6 under par. Chris Curry is playing his first EuroPro event of the season, and a second round consisting of 5 birdies and 13 pars saw him rise up the leaderboard to a share of second.
First round was 3 over through first 5 holes, and I thought this could be a long week with that kind of performance so far, but to post 9 under for the previous holes remaining and get myself into the lead, albeit the last guy that finished was a couple of shots ahead of us. I'm pretty pleased with that because it was playing pretty tricky. The wind was up, it was gusty, and I played well and I'm happy, yep.
Matthew Haynes completes the leading 3-ball. Rounds of 66 and 68 have taken him to 6 under.
There hasn't been many drivers this week, which suits me, so I've just been keeping it in play, and as long as you keep it out of the fixed stuff, I think you're fine, because you've got a lot of wedges, so there's a lot of chances. So you're going to have a lot of 10 to 15 foot putts, I think, so if you're putting decent, then I think that's going to help you get around this course.
Paul McKechnie won the EuroPro Tour's first ever Order of Merit back in 2002. The Scot last won on the tour at Moray Golf Club in 2013 and is also 2 behind the leader here in Glasgow.
I think like every one of the guys that's got a chance today, you're here to win the golf tournament. I think I've won maybe 3 or 4 times on this tour before, and what will be, you know. I think you take care of what I need to take care of on the day, and if somebody else beats me, I'll tip my bonnet to them. So yeah, I'm pretty relaxed and going to go out and play aggressive golf and see if I can make a few birdies early on and kind of take the day from there.
Time now to take a look at our leaderboard, and 62 players made the cut. Aaron Rai, the standout of them all, with 8 under. Haynes, Curry and McKechnie all on 6 under, and in total 22 players under par, all separated by 8 shots. Time now to pass over to our commentary team, Gary Alice, Scott Drummond, but first Simon Golding.
Thanks, Laura. Well, a rain-affected final day saw the greenkeepers battle valiantly with the water as the bunkers and greens were cleared, but water remained on the fairways and the players had an anxious wait. Another test for these pros as they adapt to the changing conditions and the waiting game.
And you're just sitting about waiting, actually, for the nod and when to go and when you're teeing off kind of thing. But you just try and relax and try and take your mind off it as much as you can. It can't be avoided. It's a good old Scottish summer, as we say, and just one of those things. We need to get on with it, simple as that.
Yes, absolutely, time to get on with it. Tricky conditions, and it's going to be an interesting final round here at Mar Hall. But the green staff have done a fabulous job to get things in play, and it could benefit some players. The players that embrace these conditions, Scott, are the players that are going to do okay.
Yeah, most definitely. There's definitely a mindset element to it. When the weather's like this, you've got to be prepared for whatever comes.
Gary, the course has handled the weather really well.
It's actually done remarkably well. I was out this morning. There's lots of puddles on the fairway, but the greens have held up beautifully as we watch Neil Fenwick there chipping from the side of the par 3 second.
Now Binning, featured on the leaderboard in recent times. See what he can do with this one. Yes, and those early chances, get a bit of momentum, get a roll, and that will benefit you.
These greens are very tricky here, lots of very subtle little runs on this. Got to be very careful with it. That was a good putt, good saving putt there by Fenwick.
Tidy bunker shot to here, just trying to clean up.
Does exactly that, moves to 4 under. Now, time for a bit of par 3 with Mr. Morgan.
Well, Mar Hall's got 4 par 3s, 2 on the front, 2 on the back, and they are tough. Nonetheless, here at the second, just under 200 yards long, green is a bit of a banana shape, you know, it's probably 2 clubs difference from start to finish. If you take my asking, probably 7-iron if the pin was at the front, 5-iron if the pin's at the back. I've just come up shot, got a nice little chip and run. Very old school. Get the ball rolling just like a putt as soon as you can instead of lobbing it up there. And that ain't too bad. I might have a chance of hitting the hole. Oh, a little tapping for a 3. But anyway, as we move on to this green, you're going to see where this gets difficult. Massive bunker on the left-hand side, guarded by a few big trees, so the swirling wind's probably banging off them like you wouldn't believe and going to create havoc for the players. Final day's pin position is going to be right smack bang in the middle of this green, which, you know, is pretty accessible for the boys. They're going to fancy their chances dominating, but it's not very wide. You know, this is a tight target for the boys. And they're going to be hitting 6-irons, probably to that pin position. It's not going to be easy. Big bank on the right-hand side, so if you miss it up there, very fast chip coming back down here. As we see around the back of this green, very narrow. Luckily for the lads come final day, it's not going to be there. But if you go long, obviously, a bundai. Don't want to be there. But, you know, there's more to the first par 3. Let's go to the 5th. Well, here we are at the second of the par 3s on the front 9, the 5th hole, 184 yards. Straight downwind, off the right, coming straight off the Clyde, underneath the bridge, bang, straight into the green. Out of bounds on the right, bunker on the left, you know, and it's all carry. I mean, it's not really running that much, you know, because there's been a bit of wet weather, so none of this low one and scuttle it up onto the green. You need to fly it all the way, and it's going to stop dead on you. Let me just guarantee I made that yardage right. Yeah, 184. But because it's downwind, it's playing a club less, so I got the old 7-iron out. So I'm going to pop it higher in this green. The greens are really small, by the way. It's like a milk bottle top landing it on it. So you've got to be dead accurate, and it's not easy when the wind's blowing around here. So this needs to be bang on the button. 7-iron in hand, I think I can hit it as hard as I want. And I tell you what, it's flying in nicely. Actually, that's staying in the air a bit too long. Sit down. Woohoo! It's actually just rolled to the back of the green. That's a big hit. And a very tough shot coming back. I love this 5th.
Thanks, John. Well, proof that he is fallible from time to time. Let's see how Adams does, the 21-year-old from Druids Heath Golf Club. 4 under at the moment.
It's looking a little left. Only a little bit.
It's fractions in this game, isn't it? You'll be happy to see that land there. Now then, we've had success for a Wright earlier in the season. That was Darren Wright at Burr Hill. Let's see what sort of success this man can produce today. Gareth Wright, you won't be too pleased with that though.
James Adams. See if he can convert that tidy tee shot. This is just his 3rd event of the year and the first cut that he's made. And he does it in style.
To 5 under then for Mr. Adams. Good start for him.
Back to the first. Roebuck's pitch in, having played conservatively off the tee.
Go on. Oh,
how good was that?
That's taken us all by surprise, hasn't Mr. Roebuck, I think. An eagle then. What a start. That's momentum for you. Goes to 5 under. Now, interesting hole. This one coming down the hill.
Yeah, it is. Big dog leg sweeping in. Big drop from the fairway there. And
a big bridge as well.
It is. The far end of the golf course, the Erskine Bridge, lurks just overhead.
Well, let's see if Gareth can follow Will in for an eagle. The answer's no.
Yeah, those bunkers in front of this green, a lot of water in it. It's like playing out of a soft blancmange.
Yeah, Robbie Busher.
Big old divot there. He's thrown it high into the air. Straight over the pin.
Still a chance here then for Gareth Wright.
Yeah, we definitely would have been looking for an opening birdie on this par 5. Big hitter, Gareth, so could definitely get there in 2.
It's a slightly stuttering start from him. Now, a man that we've seen plenty of during the course of this season, Fenwick, with his birdie opportunity at the 3rd.
Greens are just a bit slower, partly because of the rain, but also we've got this forecast that there could be some high winds. So just asked that the greens were left fractionally longer than they would normally be. They weren't rolled.
Yes, all the fun of the fair. Don't mention high winds in Scotland, eh, Scott?
No, it's you can get some extreme winds. As we said earlier in the programme, you just got to deal with it.
It's wreaked havoc with certain events lately, and I'm afraid that's going to wreak havoc with Gareth Wright's scorecard. So he drops back to 3 under. A rather baleful expression from the Welshman.
Nice attempt there, burning the side of the hole. And again, as Gary said, with the greens not being cut, you know, it's another thing that the players will need to deal with.
Well, our leaders still to go out, but let's take a look at how things are on the leaderboard. A few changes there, some positive and some negative. But if you're sat in that top group, I think you'll be feeling pretty confident ahead of the final round here at the Glenfarclas Open. Well, the leaders waiting in the wings for their chance at glory in the final round here at this Glenfarclas Open at Mar Hall. They're coming out to the course after the break. Welcome back to Mar Hall and the banks of the River Clyde. Before we head back out to the course for more final round action, it's time to add another hole to our EuroPro fantasy course with Montrose winner James Wilkinson.
I'm James Wilkinson, winner of the Eagle Orchid Scottish Masters at the Montrose Golf Links. Favourite hole of the week was a par 3 third. Fantastic views, tricky shots and the wind's up. And I got a nice little 2 on the last day. Great cracking hole.
That fantasy course looking better and better, but time to get back out to the course here for more final round action from the Glenfarclas Open, and the action just about to get interesting because our leader, Earl Wright, about to tee off 8 under the card, 2-shot advantage, and a par 5, a very certainly birdieable par 5 to start.
It is interesting club choice taking a driver. A lot of players have taken a 3-wood just to work it round the corner of dogleg, and that's the reason why you bring the bunker into play if you take driver. Good solid setup for Rye here. All the fundamentals looking good. Very good turn, good weight transfer. Lovely in the transition. And a big wide follow through. Hits the ball very straight, which is exactly what happened on that one, because straight down the fairway goes in that bunker.
And the flexibility, of course, of a youngster. It's very scary, I think, when you watch them swing these days. Now then, Gavin's Mr. Consistent, we've been calling him. Back on the EuroPro Tour by choice. And putting a very good season together. Surely a win not far away for him. Oh dear, and this doesn't look good, I'm afraid, for Chris Curry.
No, I played with Chris a couple of weeks ago, and I think he was one of the most steadiest, straightest hitters I played with, so unusual to see him in that deep stuff.
Roebuck already had a wonderful eagle at the first.
That's a good shot, because there's a little rise there that you can't see, and he popped it over that. Left himself about 4 feet to save his par. So here we are looking for the second half of the first hole. See the dogleg, the bunker that we saw Rye go in earlier on. It's quite a climb up, but if you play conservatively even from the tee, it only leaves maybe a 5-wood or a hybrid. Got to get some elevation on it to carry these bunkers that are lurking. They're quite deep there. Green sloping from back to front as we go back to watch Rye playing his second shot, which I think he'll probably lay up just in front of the bunker short of the green.
He's given that some laldy, as they say in these parts, and just coming up short.
And notice how steady. It's really important you keep your levels when you're playing fairway bunker shot. Got the ball nicely from it. Not too big a lip so he could drive it forward, and he did that very nicely.
And a little pitch here on the par 3. Could be quite quick down to the hole. Yeah, there we go. Just running out, even into the wind. It's moving on down that slope. Chris Curry here now, 4th shot at the first after losing his tee shot. I'm not sure if he's going to get there with an iron. No.
Yeah, not the best of starts then for our leading group on the first hole. Back to Roebuck, and some of his good work's going to be undone here if he's not careful.
Yeah, real momentum putt that was to make, and he's dribbled it a bit short as well. Be pretty frustrated with that one.
It's a funny old game, isn't it? Smile's gone, I'm afraid, from Roebuck's face. Now, our first look at Matthew Haynes, his third shot into this par 5. There we go.
Yeah, that's a good pitch in there. Leaves him an uphill putt, chance of a birdie.
Gavins now to save par. Played a nice little chip, but it was tough to keep it close to the flag.
Oh, nice comeback.
Yeah, always nice to make those ones when you feel your opportunity might have gone, when you've slid your pitch too far past.
So Rye's third shot, just out of the first cut. Pretty full sand wedge he's got in here, and not his most accurate wedge.
Now the 5th hole, par 3, just under 170 to the front. As John explained earlier, pretty small green, out of bounds on the far right, shouldn't come into play. Bunker on the left, could cause a few problems today, but generally not too long a par 3, so expect some birdies here.
Well, Gareth Wright, not the start he was looking for to his final round here. So drop back to 3 under, needs to start to get things moving. Oh dear.
Going to be a busy bunker, that one today, I think.
Curry really needs to limit the damage here on the opening hole. And that's a good attempt.
Yeah, fine effort. Slippery little putt he'd be faced with, though.
Now, Will Roebuck dropping a shot at the last hole. See where his partner Wright has gone with his tee shot. And cautious to the other side.
Oh, right, this would be a nice little shot to get up tight to the hole. Be a bonus if it drops in from this range. Yeah, pretty steady. I'm sure he would have liked to have started with a birdie to keep that lead.
Now Paul McKechnie, birdie opportunity. First chance to have a look at him. A couple of good days for Paul.
Bit of a misread there.
I'm sure he was looking at the same situation as any of us there. He was miles away.
Yeah, apart from the line and the pace, it was good.
Now then Haynes from the Rochester and Cobham Golf Club, 68 and 66, so fabulous couple of days for him, and not really seeing anyone grab this final round by the scruff of the neck at the moment. Oh, this is not going to be fun.
No, this is difficult. As you see, water still in the bunker. Very squelchy. But that's a fine shot.
Yeah, be delighted with that. Bunkers will be proper hazards today. Now, this wouldn't have been on Chris Curry's mind before he teed off to be putting for a bogey on the first hole. He's damaged, limited the damage a little bit there.
Well, Will Roebuck taking his putter from the fringe. Never easy, Scott, is it, when you have to come over different types of grass and up and over the slope, but it's running very nicely.
Yeah, he's had that one online, that's for sure. But like you say, it can be difficult with the fringe. Just depends how much fringe you've got to putt over. And sometimes, going to say, sometimes it's a show of players' confidence when they're not chipping from just off the green.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, McKechnie, after his high, wide and not very handsome first attempt, misses that one and is displeased.
Yeah, so he drops back to 5 under. He would certainly have been in the mix if he could have kept things moving along. May recover though. Now this for no damage. At the 5th for Roebuck. Well, he was obviously aware of that little break that was going to come, but that was too heavy.
Yeah, you could see that. Obviously just maybe slightly in doubt with the line. Maybe wanted to hit it straight, but then at the last minute, you give it a little bit of borrow and it doesn't take it.
Just tidy up for Haynes' part. Firmly in, nicely done. Par under his belt, move on.
This would be a super save for Gareth from that squelchy bunker on the left. He did play an exquisite shot. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, good stuff from Wright, but still waiting to get his final round going. Time to take a look at our schedule then for this year. It's been a superb season so far, rather whetting the appetite for the run into the Tour Championships in Desert Springs, and the excitement doesn't stop there. Big developments this week in terms of our Tour's standing in the world of golf. John Morgan has caught up with Director of Operations, Dan Godding.
Tell you what, I just heard through the grapevine you got some unbelievable news.
Well, it's very exciting, John. The PGA EuroPro Tour, together with the other 3 satellite tours in Europe, have just been awarded the official world golf ranking points. So it means that winners of our events from next week onwards at Hawkston will get 4 points, and it's very exciting indeed.
And also, that's a 3-day event, so when the 4-day event kicks in at Moralton, I mean, how many points do you get then?
Well, they're not going to frighten Rory McIlroy. He's currently on 600, but a 4-day event, you do get 6 points. So that's massive. That's massive news. We are the only satellite tour in Europe to offer a 4-day event, which is going to be at Moralton at the end of August, and it's really exciting for us to be leading the way. Yeah.
Obviously, when it comes to Open Qualifier as well, which is being played the week of Mar Hall.
Absolutely.
I mean, they get to go straight to final qualifying.
Well, they
is
do.
That right?
They do right now. The Open qualification for this year.
Yeah.
If you have world ranking points at the time that the qualification date closes, then you do go straight to final stage. So it's interesting for us. If that remains next year as exactly the same, then the winners of our first 2, maybe even 3 events will go straight into the final stage of the Open qualifying.
Well, I love it, and more than appropriate that we had the bagpipes just heralding the arrival of that momentous news. Even more incentives, onwards and upwards, bigger and better. Things looking very interesting in the race to Desert Springs now. Gary King still topping out with those 2 fabulous wins at the start of the season, but the players battling to get into the upper echelons to give themselves a chance at the big money come the end of the season. And as we now know, that could mean very big things for the future of their golfing careers. Well, exciting news, and we're hoping to get an exciting final round.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt we're going to get that. Nice solid swing there from Rye. And a tidy approach there. Keep running.
Better.
Keep
That's
running.
Better.
Doesn't get much better than that. That'll settle the nerves.
Yes, he'll definitely take that, and a man of his putting ability as well, he'll be fine. Now Adams, second shot into this par 4 8th, trailing by 3 shots.
It's looking a good pitch in here. But an interesting hole, depends so much on the way the wind blows. You can almost drive the green when it's downwind.
Second shot for Roebuck to the 7th. Trying to keep some of his early momentum going. Another fringe for him. Not too far away though.
Benning now with his pitch in. Almost straight in the cup. Clip back up in. Very good chance of a birdie.
Pepper in that flag there, Gary.
It's for an early move then for Aaron Wright. And there we go. So moves himself to 9 under. Tidy golfer, this man, but very powerful hitter as well. And here's a man that did really well here last year. Finished tied 2nd with Paul Shields behind Craig Ross. Fabulous win by the amateur last year. First time that's happened on the EuroPro since James Robinson way back when at Slowly Hall.
The Piper's certainly heralding all the play, isn't he? It's
we can see there, these greens are now producing a fair bit of backspin, so the guy's got to be careful with that.
I think with them a bit softer, it just gives them a chance with the slopes that are on there of maybe controlling the ball onto the right level. As we watch Colwell knock his putt nicely in. Well done.
So birdie for Jonathan. Yeah, you're right about the pipes, Gary. Usually means there's a wedding up at the main venue, but provides a wonderful backdrop.
It's a great putt from Roebuck there, right in the jaws. He'll be happy with that though.
Yeah, Adams' lively start to today.
And another one making his birdie 3.
Yeah, good roll there. And it's always the way, you make the first cut you make of the year, you know, you've got that excitement for the last round, gives you a lift. Is he piping the ball into the hole?
Not quite this time. Puff of the cheeks from McKechnie. And Binning then at 8.
With the shortest of the 3 possibilities.
Oh, it's always the way, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? You can see the break on that. It swung quite severely. It wasn't going that fast, but still fast enough to catch the edge and spin out.
Time then to take a look at our movement on the leaderboard. And Aaron Rai getting out to a 3-shot cushion now ahead of James Adams and Matthew Haynes. But something tells me there's a long, long way to go at the Glenfarclas Open.
Well, you got to love this place, Mar Hall. What a fantastic clubhouse, and I'm lucky to be joined by Lloyd Saltman. You've had some, you know, lightning performances in the past, you know, where, you know, like you said, you won the silver medal back, you know, 10 years ago. You know, you can still thrive on the old experiences. I mean, how's it been going for you in recent days?
You know, we've been working really hard, actually. It's I changed coach for the first time in sort of 15 years or so last year, at the end of the year. And decided to make some changes, which it's taken a little longer than perhaps I'd like, but you know, I'm not as young as I used to be, so the body wants to do what it likes to do.
I mean, as you know though, back in 2011, you guys, I mean, this man played on the European Tour, 20 odd starts, you know, you earned just less than 200,000 euros, and unfortunately, it wasn't good enough to keep your card, which is quite bizarre, huh?
It was just shy, yeah, and you know, I think it was a great year for me for learning. I made a lot of cuts that year, which was something I hadn't done previous. I was more of a kind of in and out guy, either, you know, a first, a second, or a top 10 or nothing. And my goal that year was to make a lot of cuts, and I think I made 17 cuts or so, and it just didn't quite get the big enough finish in the right tournament to secure the card. And it was one of those years where I think 230 got the card, and the next again year it was 190. So, you know, it's just one of these things, but gives you the hunger to keep working hard to try and be a success at this game. The thing is, you know, we've got to play, and if you commit to keep playing this game and keep working hard, you have to find somewhere to play. And we're fortunate enough we have tours like the EuroPro that we're able to come back and play on, and try and, you know, work hard to you know, to learn the trade again almost, and graft our way back up through it. So, you know, we're fortunate we have somewhere to play, so, you know, you can't complain.
Aaron Rai then in pole position at the moment here at Mar Hall. Can he keep it going after the break? Welcome back to final round action at the Glenfarclas Open. Beautiful scenes here. It's not been great though with the weather. We've had another delay, but the players coping with it well. The course coping even better. Playing very nicely out there at the moment, as is our leader, Aaron Rai. 1 shot to the good at the start of this final round, so he moves himself to 9 under and a chance to put a bit more pressure on the rest of the field.
Quite a quick tempo there through the ball. Pulled it slightly. As you said, Gary, that bunker going to get a bit of use today.
Yeah, it's a very narrow green, that 5th.
Now let's take a look at the Englishman's profile. Still just 20 years of age, turned pro back in 2012. Sporting hero, Tiger Woods, and loves a bit of pool, bit of swimming, bit of football. He's going to have to love his golf, though, today, if he wants to be successful. Now, Hinton. First chance we've had to look at Craig Hinton, 26-year-old Englishman from Thame in Oxfordshire, and just lamenting the fact that one didn't drop.
Yeah, I looked disappointed there. Matt Haynes. Stunted follow through there, looking to drive it in, maybe cheat the wind. Well, he's missed it on the safe side, if you like, but it's quite a way short as well.
Yeah, it was a good plan.
So Hinton, after that very good second shot. Lovely look down this one. Yes, held its line. Well done, sir.
Back to the fifth. We saw John talking about this one earlier today. What sort of club do you think will be going in with today, Scott?
They're looking at a region of a 6-iron. Just under 170 to the front.
Oh.
Well, I think there he was looking to try and just use that little bit of breeze, but no effect into the sand.
Yeah, Curry bunkered and Binning scuppered.
Yeah, that was very, very difficult. Got to put some speed in it to get it out of that rough, and then trying to control it for the distance of the flag. Extremely tricky.
So Craig Hinton again, after birdieing the previous hole, has nearly driven it up onto this green. Got too much action on that. Tried to knock it in low for a bit of release and got only check.
Caldwell from the fringe. Just a couple of inches of fringe to go over, so no difficulty, and he gave that one a good chance.
Yeah, this is frustrating stuff, though, for Jonathan, who did so well here last year. And unfortunately, a bogey at 10 as well. And that's his scorecard in some trouble.
So Haynes, nice little chip and run, using the ground, using the contours. Has he got the speed right? Not quite, but leaves himself an uphill putt to save his par.
Binning here, fifth shot. Certainly needs to make this one, and he does. Got the Tommy Fleetwood look going on with that hair.
I like it. Now, I've seen a couple of shots from this bunker today, and they've both been good.
Well, that was good, but I think he almost looks semi-plugged there. Indeed.
Yes, it's. I think, in fact, he dropped that one out of the water that it was in. But that's one of the dangers in a wet bunker. You drop the ball, wet sand, and it plugs.
I tell you, Rise found his way out of that bunker as well, as McKechnie just feathers this one in. He's a fantastic player, Paul McKechnie. Always enjoy watching him work his way around a course. Now, Seb Rye was out, not particularly successfully though.
Not much break in this putt. Get it running on line. Oh. A little shy.
Caldwell, second shot into this par 4 12th. Seen his score just drop back to 2 under. Beautiful maturity to this course now, and I think that's helped by the 250-year-old chestnut and beech trees all around it. Gives it a real sense of history.
Hinton, after that cracking drive and slightly tentative second shot. See the slopes on these greens here, Gary, especially around the holes.
Yeah, it's a lovely design done by Paul Thomas, but the greens are slopey, difficult to read.
Back to Curry. He would have fancied that putt. Could be quite bold with it.
Yeah, I played with him a couple of weeks ago, like I said, and he actually fancied every putt he was on the green with. He quite hard on himself at times. He expected to hold everything.
Hinton, winner of the Welsh Amateur Stroke Play back in 2012, but not with putts like that. Frustrating.
Yeah, it's, you know, those are the sorts of things that are frustrating, and you look at it and you think that's how these younger players, they've got to learn to score, because he'd nearly driven the green and walks off with a bogey, which is not very good.
Oh. Bit of frustration being vented there. Possibly a bad lie, we couldn't see it. But,
yeah, keep clear of Mr. Caldwell for the next few minutes, got a rake in his hand.
Solid there. Solid par save for Matt.
Keckney now for his birdie. See there, Scott, even it was only 18 inches away and it still tried to almost dive out of the right of the hole.
Yeah, and sometimes those are you get very close to the hole, but you see the bit of break on it and they're tricky. You just get a little bit caught sometimes what to do with it.
Caldwell trying to repair the damage. We're hearing news that Aaron Rai is in a bit of trouble at the 5th. I'm sure we'll get to him in a moment.
I think most of these players are going to encounter a little bit of trouble today. It's just how they weather it.
The key after all this rain is, you know, just trying to keep the ball in play. The bunkers are to be avoided. And one of the defences of this course is how thick the grass is, as we can see when you look off. If you miss the first cut, it's jungle.
Well, John Morgan liked the 5th, but that's a couple of bogeys yielded there for Rai and Curry. Caldwell rolling it in, and I'm afraid the bogeys keep coming for him as well. So things are moving once again on the leaderboard, not so positively this time around. Aaron Rai dropping back to the score that he started on the beginning of the day, 8 under, so that means he's 2 clear at the moment from McKechnie and Haynes.
Well, we've seen the first 2 par 3s on the front 9. Now we come to the back 9. It starts at the 10th hole, 147 yards, par 3. It's a little diamond, but I tell you what, there's a lot of problems around this green. That's why I'm on it right now. It's pretty damp and soft at the moment, so the boys are going to get a lot of spin. If they come up short here on the right-hand side, it could take a little bit of spin and it'll head off down the slope and it's going to leave yourself a real nasty one. But as we come up this green, you're going to see it's slopes from left to right down to this humongous bunker on the right hand side. Now if you go in there and it plugs, my God, you got a massive bank. It's going to be very, very difficult. And the wind, you know, comes off the River Clyde right in through this funnel of trees to this humongous tree that's guarding the left-hand side. Now, if the pin goes at the back of this green, which you can see, final day's pin is actually here. Look at it, the big spot is out. The boys have been out there, so this tree is going to come right into play for the players with this bunker here on the left-hand side as well. If the boys hit it in there, these greens are really rapid. I mean, this is just going to show you. Follow this ball. Look at this. So if it goes past, that would have gone, well, you know, nearly off the green, and that's going to catch a slope and maybe off it. This one, 147 yards, like I said. This is harder than what the boys think.
Mr. Morgan just adding marbles there to his list of sports. Now, the list, talking of lists, is getting longer and longer for problems and troubles and issues out there. Well negotiated, my goodness, and a bit of that tree on the green.
Yeah, that shows some wind strength.
Here's our leader on the 6th tee. Looking to just slide one down the left-hand side back into the middle of the fairway. Which he does rather well.
There's a certain lash, isn't there, to his drive. He really goes after it.
Yeah, he does hit the ball hard.
Here's a man who hits it long. Gareth Wright.
Yeah, towering shot. There's a lovely ease and power to the way Gareth Wright hits the ball. There's the pipes again for Mr. Haynes.
It's from a very light rough on the side. Only a lofted iron into what's a very long green.
He's not happy today, is he?
No, a few mutterings there. He was right down the flag with that one, probably hoping it was going to pitch much closer to the hole. And this is a little delicate one by the looks of it. Oh yeah, it's gone off in his hands. He's further away now.
It's so difficult, this green. It really is one of the most sloping on the course. So back we go to the 6th hole, 382 yard par 4, running alongside the Clyde. First bunker in the fairway doesn't really come into play for these guys. Most of them are playing to the left side into this very long green. Just requires good straight hitting and to choose the right club to give yourself a birdie chance. Birdie opportunity, but if you miss the green, you might not save par.
Rye's driven it in a good spot, centre of the fairway. Going straight at the flag, we would imagine. A little slope there, got to be careful.
It's going to be a tester for Rye. Right for birdie. It's dropped back to 3 under, so we'll feel that he's got to get things moving.
Yeah, I thought Gareth could be one to watch today.
Oh, well done. Well done.
Maybe he still is.
Nice stuff from the Welshman.
Now Haynes, having slightly misjudged his second shot, gives it a good old bash, but not enough of a bash.
Mr. Fennick. Third shot here on the par 5. Lovely little action there, just rolling it out and almost rolling it in.
So back to Rye, where we saw his ball roll onto the fringe. Probably smooth stroke, and very close. Safe par. Nothing the matter with that.
I think he'll take that right now. Yeah, unfortunate break, quite literally, for McKechnie. It's ended up here. And, oh, maybe didn't watch it as it went past.
Well, I think that's a very tricky pin position today. A lot of slope. But you can see his frustration hitting such a great approach in.
Yeah, for such a tidy golfer, I think we're going to call that pin position murderous today.
Agreed.
Now, Fennick, great result. That tied second at Montrose. We've got a list of players that we're looking at today or this year for a result, and he certainly goes on that list. Now, Fennick.
Now Haynes just trying to tidy up for his par. And again, just fooled by the subtleness of the break there. It's enormously frustrating for these players. These are difficult greens, and they mustn't beat themselves up over them.
Some very cute putts out there, and so far not all being negotiated. But Haynes finds himself out in second place on his own due to the misfortunes of others. Rye then leading by 3, and look at that, on -4 we got a bit of a peloton developing there, going with our summer cycling theme. But it's this man that is running from the front. Rye leads. Can anyone catch him? Welcome back to final round action from the Glenfarclas Open here at Mar Hall. Simon Golding, Gary Allison, Scott Drummond with you as we move into the heart of this tournament. Rye still leading by 3 shots ahead of Haynes, but there's a whole group of players on 4 under just waiting for Rye to make a mistake. Now, Scott, let's take to the air and have a look at 9.
Yeah, 376 yards, par 4. Out of bounds left, which shouldn't trouble the players. Just trying to carry this bunker at just over 240 into the right side of the fairway. Open up the flag, which is front left today. Just make sure you're up. Carry these bunkers at the front. Tricky green with a bit of slope on it, as most of the greens are here, but a lot of the guys will be looking at, making a birdie here once they've got their drive in position.
You can see the sort of terrain that some of the players are having to deal with on these holes. Tricky life for Haynes.
Yeah, and slightly surprised he's not hit much club off the tee at all there. kept it short of that bunker. Normally an aggressive player, I think, Matt. And that longer approach has made it more difficult to get to that front left pin.
Up to the 11th. Getting his second shot. Getting the ball just fractionally below his feet, so he'll be looking perhaps to slide this in a little bit from left to right to get at the pin. And just hit it straight left.
Now this is tricky. There's lots of tricky ones today, but this is definitely one of them. Made a good fist of it. Oh, goodness me.
Those longer putts looking easier than the shorter ones at the moment.
Yeah, maybe that's the key.
It was 3 different lengths of grass and a swing of about a yard. No problem. Now, having pulled to the side of the green, that's a decent little chip shot from there out of that thickish grass. Hold on, hold on. Good effort, but going to need some work to save his par.
Roebuck, man who in his profile puts himself down as a part-time hairdresser, I think.
Oh dear, he's got some fringe to part there, I'm afraid. And Haynes, we've already seen one victim at 10 in McKechnie after a quite beautiful tee shot as well. And again, trying to do something a little bit different here.
Yeah, just trying to work it in low, which he's done, but too far.
That's a brave shot, and it's not worked.
Like I said, normally a pretty aggressive player, I think, Matt.
Now, right, just got himself back to 4 under to join that large group of players on that score. Can you fancy him to kick on at some point?
Yeah, he's got the experience, plays a lot of golf, Gareth.
Now our leader. Let's see what sort of swing he chooses to make. Also rather a punchy one, just trying to start it on line. Has he succeeded? He certainly has, but didn't take enough club.
Misjudgment there. We haven't made a reference to his 2 gloves yet, guys.
Yes, very good point there, Scott. We'll talk about that later, because this is important for Hinton. Oh, yes, superb stuff. So drains an absolute corker there, and that means movement on the scoreboard for him. Goes to 5 under. The man that turned pro back in 2013, but after a fabulous amateur career on the Welsh Amateur, and also came to fame when he beat world number 5 amateur Dan Husing. And that one certainly sent a few shockwaves around the world. And in a professional sense, his best finish at the moment at Camberwell when he picked up that 3rd place, but looking to kick on from there. And looking to kick out of the mess he's got himself in is Roebuck.
Yeah, in the sand there, which was better than the long grass, and he's played a good approach there. Given himself a chance to save.
Bry now, having seen him come up just short. Interesting club choice there, you know, to take such a lofted club and then dropped it on the fringe, which I'm sure he didn't mean to, trying to get the lie right. Going to be struggling.
McKechnie try not to give one back, but I'm afraid it's happened again.
Yeah, a lot of cheek puffing we're seeing today, as you said, Simon. But it's, this course is showing today that the greens really are the defence and causing the guys all sorts of problems.
Haynes now, having missed this par 3 by quite some distance, has played a very good shot. Will it stop?
Well, that's incredible. That got within 2 feet of the hole.
Yeah, it's very tough.
Well, the boys are going to be standing here at the 15th tee thinking, right, eagle chance, 478 yards, par 5. You know, this should be a doddle, but the wind loves to come down this Clyde straight in your face, so it makes the whole play that little bit longer. Got this bunk on the left with this beautiful big oak tree just guarding it just beyond it, which means if you go and take it on, you can carry the bunkers, but you got to carry this massive tree to boot. So your bailout is down the right, but there's this big load of thick grass to gather the ball if you get it slightly off the line. Driver, you need to aim down that right hand side and a nice little draw, kind of flirt with that tree and those bunkers on the left hand side and give yourself a nice angle into this green. Now I'm going to have a little pop at this baby. Just down at this far distance, there's another big, beautiful tree just there, and wrap these hands over. And I tell you what, I've actually done it pretty good actually. That's a little draw, and that should be in good position. And that's going to give me a nice angle coming into this green, but let's go up there and have a little closer look, because I tell you what, there's danger. Not a bad shot all in all, because the fairway, well, it's only about 15 yards wide, so it's very, very tight, and these beautiful trees obviously guarding it as well. As we look down this hole, I'm about 215 yards, 220 yards out from this green. Little bit of wind into, you got these two beautiful big trees on the right hand side which are guarding it, and me being down this right hand side as well means I got to bring those into play unless I make a big fade. But then if you hit a fade, normally you take some yardage off it, and I need all the yardage I can get. I got a bit of a tough lie, a few grains of grass right behind it, can't get the wood to it, so I'm out with the 3-iron. I'm going to have to pitch this one short and scuttle it up onto the green. It's not easy, but you're going to have to do it. Now, it's dead straight at this flag, and hit 7 bells out of it. Back of the stance, really trap it so I don't get these blades of grass too much involved with my shot. Here we go. Come on. Hold up, hold up. Has it scabbed it to the front edge of this green? Who knows? But it's a tough hole. The boys are going to fancy their chances, though, if the wind is in the right direction.
Come on, Scott, would you have taken that fade on?
Absolutely. Cut it there into the flag. Wouldn't have scabbed it to the front like John did.
Poor old John. We've been giving him some stick this year, but those hole features are fabulous. Really does open up exactly what faces the pros, but also talking in terms of how the pros are thinking about the hole.
Chris Curry, another one who's missed this green on the right. He's played that well, but if that stays there, which it has, that is going to be a slippery one.
Just hasn't been his day today, has it?
No, I mean, again, he's definitely someone I fancied to kick on today, especially with the conditions.
Now, right, hoping this is coming back, but it is a vain hope.
You can see the water there. Iron for Adams.
It's gone a little bit quiet at the moment, Adams.
Yeah, this could spark it, this hole. He's yielded the most eagles so far. Into double digits. And that's an outside chance.
Now back to our leader, who we saw chip. This is, we can see a massive, massive swing.
Well done, well done.
Yeah, that was a good effort.
Actually, with the slope on the green, you're relieved to make a bogey on one like that.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, he's short of the green there. He could have easily made 5. Oh, well. Touch more pace, that might have stayed on line. Now then. This would be a very, very good up and down, as any of them are on this hole today. Another one.
10 is hurting, that's for sure.
Now, Adams from the fringe, close to the hole for his eagle. Not a lot of break in this putt.
Just needed hitting.
Now, this is the one, Scott, you said was terrifying.
Yeah, certainly from what we've seen. from the previous groups. Very, very tricky, and there you go, look at that. Painful. Painful to miss, and then painful to see it go that far past.
Well, he's been watching that like a hawk for the putt back. Right then. Oh no. Well, it's been a long time since we've seen a tournament about putts from these distances.
Yeah, it has. It's been a remarkable amount of short putting that they've not been able to convert.
Lovely, beautifully done from Neil Fenwick, just rolling it down the hill at the 17th to pick off a shot. So that takes him another shot under the card.
Come on, Chris. Pop this one in. Yeah, it's more like it. The frustration is there, etched on his face.
Adams, this little tap in for his birdie. Yep, nicely done. Moving in the right direction again.
Well done to James Adams, and now 3 men on 5 under, him, Hinton and Haynes. And that means they're 2 shots behind Aaron Rai, who just hasn't managed to steal a march in this final round, and he's going to have to be a little bit careful. He'll be looking over his shoulder.
We're here at the final of the 4 par 3s, the 17th, 201 yards. And what a beauty it is. Very, very tough indeed. It's a bit of an amphitheatre of trees, and this is one gap in the far distance where this wind just seems to open it up and it comes straight at you, so it plays a little bit longer than the actual yardage itself, which means it's a very tough hole. And if you want my opinion, I really like this one. This would be my little ace in the hole when it comes to par 3s on this particular golf course. Anyway, 3-iron in hand. Gonna hold it up, pin on the right hand side, hopefully land it nice and softly on this green. It's been a little bit of rain, so there's every chance it might be able to get quite close. Right, let's see what my execution's like. Straight at our Mr. Cameraman behind the green and drift it off him. I tell you what, I've done a good job, but I probably just overcooked it. I think that's just missed, just right of the green. But that's going to be a little awkward chip. But let's go up there and I'm going to show you what it's all about. Get in there. That's how you do it. Pick my spot right there. Didn't know if to chip and run it. But obviously it worked that time, luckily. Took the contours lovely, just dropped in the hole. Yeah, dead weight. That's how you need to play it. Nice lovely little 2 at 17, and who needs a putter, eh? That's how it's supposed to be done.
Nice one, John, and not the only player that will be thinking that today about the putter.
Absolutely, yeah. Chipping them in is always a bonus.
And just as well, because Mr. Morgan hasn't had the best of days from the tee. Oh, and that has finished up beautifully for Adams.
Craig Hinton with his second shot. This par 4, 14th. Not a long hole. The 18th is a big dogleg, swings round to almost at right angles here. Green's probably some 15 feet above the level of the fairway. Most players play it down the left-hand side. And Fenwick there playing a good shot that just backs up down the slope. Uphill putt for his birdie.
Yeah, the man who could post the first decent clubhouse score for us, Fenwick. After rolling in that beauty at 17. Now right, 13. Well, still looks to be striking the ball very well today.
Yeah, finding fairways and greens is his main priority as the leader. Take all the pressure off.
Hinton to make another move closer to Mr. Rai.
Oh. So much right about that putt.
Yeah, it must have looked great. It was tracking right into the hole to pull up 2 inches short.
Let's see if he can match Johnny here for the 2, shall we? It was a very, very good tee shot in.
Not quite. 6 under would have done very nicely for Adams. Said he was a little bit quiet through the middle phase of his round, but finishing strongly.
Yeah, and 17 and 18, 2 fairly tough holes to finish today. Another little punched iron shot in from right, straight at the flag. That one just not gripping as much. But still very good.
Back to the tee on the par 5 15th. And we launch a long one. Ooh.
Wow.
That is a bit wide. That's out on the 16th fairway, but it'll actually be all right.
Yeah,
from there.
so far wide that it's actually good. Slightly longer approach, but from the short stuff.
Now Fenwick to make 5 under the mark. Oh no.
It was a good effort. That was a good effort.
It's been another good tournament then for Neil Fenwick. It's coming, Neil, it's coming. Hang in there, mate.
Yeah, very solid. Look at that. No bogeys, 2 birdies. Very solid on a day like today. Tough conditions, tough ground conditions as well.
Very consistent performer, isn't he? Now, back to Hinton, playing his second shot to the 15th from the middle of the 16th fairway. Nice swing, lovely balance. Has he been able to draw it off that big tree that John told us about?
Certainly has. Centre of the green.
Yeah, no scabs in sight there. Super stuff from Hinton.
Very good. I think he can't quite see where it's finished from where he is, but he'll be happy with that.
Adams from the middle of the 18th fairway. Just got to try and get the distance right here. Difficult pin, front right, very tough placement today. Going to see a lot of people putting from pin high, but a long way away on the left.
Yes, it asked a few questions last year, did the 18th. Now then this for a very different way to play the hole. And unfortunately, just coming up short when he needed it.
Yeah, that would have been a big putt there. Eagle, take him to 7 under. That would have been put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Now Rye coming back down this 13th green and fooled again by the break, slid a bit more than he thought, and as we know, he is a fabulous putter.
Come on, Craig. Great approach shot in. Weak with the first putt. Let's see if he can finish it off though. He can.
Yes, well done from Hinton. But with that lack of real aggression and real scoring out there on the course at the moment, I just wonder if Rye's pretty steady par golf is going to keep him out in front. Or can somebody steal it away from him? Big rap then from Adams across the green. That's an absolute corker. What a putt.
That's superb. Final green. Real long putt there, and he would have known that running it by or leaving it short and taking 3 putts would have been very damaging, so that's a fantastic first putt.
Little look up there at the leaderboard, I think, just to check things out, and that's 68 to leave him at 5 under means Adams is the man to beat.
Yeah, he set the mark. They've all got to rise to the challenge now.
Yes, indeed. And Rye, his lead is gradually disappearing. Just a single shot ahead of Hinton now. Now, time for a bit of fun. Okay, the new, but how many of the players do know? Here's a quiz for them. What's their Scottish knowledge like?
Wouldn't have a clue.
Gotta go with sheep.
Sheep.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Haggis?
Really? Haggis.
Badger. Loch Ness Monster.
Pony.
Pony? Shetland pony.
That was a pony answer. I tell you what, it's a unicorn.
I've no idea.
Yeah, I know, I gathered that.
Haggis.
Haggis.
I'm not very good at this, I don't know that either.
A haggis? Haggis.
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 Well done.
Yes, come on! Is that sausage stuff?
Yeah, that's that sausage stuff.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think this, but you're on the spot,
No idea.
Ben Nevis.
I'm struggling here.
Ben Nevis.
Didn't listen enough at school. No idea. I'm going to go for Mount McNulty. Ben Nevis.
Kilimanjaro. I haven't got a clue. Go on, tell me. Ben Nevis.
Gullen. Turnberry.
Trun?
No?
Glenbervie.
No.
Is it? St Andrews?
No.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
Prestwick. Muirfield?
That's Muirfield, and yes, I mean, you are now the worst. Well done, mate.
Yes.
You are last place.
Oh, I'm no good at geography.
7 under leads, and it's still Aaron Rye, but only by a single shot. Things getting interesting here at the Glenfarclas Open. Welcome back to the Glenfarclas Open. Things got real, I think is the expression, just before the break. And Aaron Rye, who's been leading comfortably in this tournament right through the day, now finds that he just has a single shot lead over Hinton. We've got one man in the clubhouse as well, Adams, at 5 under. And how competitive is that score going to be? And at the moment, nobody really kicking on.
No, they're not. But this is a crucial putt here for Hinton now, towards the end of the round. He's got to be the man to post the new number.
Oh, well done. Very well done. And Aaron Rye's lead has evaporated. It's official. Hinton moves to 7 under.
Right, with the iron, he can definitely reach with an iron. He'll be looking for eagle, no doubt.
Yes, moving that in nicely on the prescribed line from Mr. Morgan earlier in the show.
14th fairway. Rye with his second shot, just in front of the puddle. And a lovely shot. It would have looked great as it came down. Good chance of birdie.
Yeah, slightly unlucky there not to pull up a bit closer to that flag.
Probably just the wet fairway, just took a little bit of spin off, Scott, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
17 and our new joint leader. 2 holes to play for Craig. What sort of number can he post? Oh, lovely stuff. Well, not the first man going into that part of the green today, and it's been successful for others.
Gareth Wright here, can he add to the tally of eagles on this hole? No, he's misjudged that one. A lot of swing, as you could see.
After that good second shot, Rye going for birdie.
Well, that would have wrestled the lead back again by a single shot. But as it is, pretty much the story of his day. No harm done, par golf.
Successfully hold out there for a birdie, but a little shake of the head, you can see he was thinking eagle.
Craig Hinton back up the green, 25 footer.
Oh, well, I thought that was in.
Yeah, that was a great try. That was tracking. You could see he fancied that one.
Just a trick of the eye. So both Hinton and Rye missing opportunities to claim the lead for themselves.
Haynes with a 3-wood on the par 5. Looking to work it round, which he hasn't done. Not in too much trouble there, but it's going to be a longer approach than some of the other guys.
Not out of it yet though, Haynes, by any means, as Hinton tidies up.
Yeah, no disgrace with a par on that hole. He'll move to the 18th and he'll look to pick one up there.
This isn't easy with all the wet around. It's only the first cut. Mushy old ground. Has he got a good contact? Sounded all right.
Yeah, it came out like a bullet. You could see that one, Gary. Not quite enough club to get there.
Yeah, right, we've seen a few of these hold today. Would love this one to drop.
Played it nicely.
Lovely chip. Fine effort.
Now then, Haynes with his third shot. He's been entertaining today, I'll give him that. Can he entertain further? Yes, he can. Very, very deftly done. And the movement on the ball, taking it even closer to the hole. Right, time to head up to the air and take a look at another hole, the 16th.
400-yard par 4 16th, dogleg to the left. Players trying to keep up the left-hand side as close as possible without going into these bunkers. Will then leave a middle short iron to a sort of heart-shaped green. Shouldn't be too difficult to get on the right level. After a good drive, offers an opportunity of a birdie for these players, this hole.
A birdie would do very nicely for this man, Haynes. Tapped it in for a birdie at 15, so now just one shot off the lead. A round, I think we can safely say, has been interesting from his point of view. He's been all over the shot, but has played some great stuff in between.
Yeah, he's played some good stuff. He's played some good recovery stuff, but yeah, one or two wayward ones that he would have not enjoyed.
Right then at 17.
Working it in from right to left on the breeze.
Oh yeah.
And the slope. Yeah, and a good job.
That's classy golf from the Welshman.
So back to the 16th on the corner of the dogleg. Right, looks as though he's played it in the right place, just inside the bunkers. 8 or 9 iron shot. Again, right over the top of the flagstick. As you said earlier, Simon, he's just sticking to his par golf. Good stuff.
Yeah, I was starting to think mid-round it might be good enough, but he's got company now, Rye. Now, really birdie finish required for Wright. Oh, so nearly the first part of the puzzle successfully completed. It's all good stuff. It's great putting. It's just not dropping, and that's the problem.
Control from this grass is difficult. You could see he had to thump it out, and there's no control. Very, very difficult.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't the place to miss this green, was it?
No, and he knew it.
Well, here at the 18th, I mean, beautiful finishing hole. Anything down the left with a big driver will leave yourself a good angle in. If you slightly block it, not enough club, this is where you're going to end up. And you've got this big, beautiful, larger-than-life tree smack bang in your eye line. Beautiful big bunker guarding it as well, so if you're in there, makes your shot even harder. I'm looking at it thinking to myself, well, I could easily play a draw, but the green doesn't suit a draw coming into it. It suits a fade from this angle because it slopes from right to left and towards you. And with the pin, anything on the right-hand side, you need to hit that fade. So I'm going to attempt looking at our main cameraman down there on the left-hand side, just left of him, bend it off it and scoot it up on this green if I can. Now I've got a 4-iron, I've got 170, into wind, uphill, in your face, because the wind's coming from the Clyde there, straight at me. So everything needs to be done right here. Seve Ballesteros, bit of a handsy player like me, liked to draw, and when he faded it, he used to hold it off lovely. So I'm going to try and do exactly the same. So have a watch of this. I think it's on the right edge of the green. I think I overcut it. One up.
I know he messes about, Scott and Gary, but we can't avoid the fact the boy's got game, hasn't he?
He certainly has, yeah. He's a good talent. He's a good lad.
Now on to the modern talent. The new boy is on the scene. Craig Hinton with his tee shot at the 18th. Does not want to get himself in trouble here because he needs to finish at least with that 7 under, maybe better.
Haynes, after his earlier troubles, still with work to do.
Big shot here for Hinton now. Great angle into this flag. As John said, it's good angle from the left. Coming out the semi-rough, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. And it's not. That's a great shot, straight over the top of the flag from his angle.
Fabulous opportunity then for Hinton to put the pressure on this man, Rye. Makes this putt even more important.
Quite a little bit of break in this one as it just gets by the hole. Oh, and he's read it nicely.
Beautiful from Rye. And for the first time today, that little push from him on the back 9. After what has been a relatively steady day, what a great way to respond. Oh dear.
No one likes to see that. Especially when it's for a bogey.
So complete horseshoe from Haynes. I think that's put him out the running, dropping 2. Goes back to 4 under. And Hinton now for the big finish. This to get back to level with Rye.
Yeah, this is a massive putt, and he's read it well.
Oh, superb. Well, that is just superb golf. What a time to find a putt like that, and Hinton is in business.
It's a great back 9. Look at that, how well he's played on those difficult holes. And to finish with that 3. Stuffy, gutsy stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Those last 3 holes all playing over their par this week. So picking up 2 shots there is superb.
Rye then remains in a tie for the lead, but he can take it away from Hinton with 2 to play. How bold does he go here at 17? Oh, he's taken it on.
Yeah, it's almost shot of the day on 17. You could see the look in his eye. He wants this.
On the verge of something really big. Something we say on this tour many, many times during the course of the season about these young players all looking for their first professional win. Wow.
Not the first person to go out and use the 7th fairway on this hole. It's not a bad line in though. Much better than right. Right now, up the hill. On its way.
Nobody's read that putt, have they, today? Nobody's made it from there. They've all been close.
Interesting, the 2 gloves are always off for putting. They're actually quite thick, the gloves they use. I could maybe understand a couple of thin leather ones, but they're almost sort of a thick synthetic material.
Yeah, we'll see the gloves back on for the 18th. We'll just see Wright hit his shot here. And just not quite happen, I'm afraid, for the Welshman today. But as you can see, majestic swing. Really is a very compact and powerful player, and that's just beautiful into the 18th. So Rye, I'm sure he'll have both gloves on again. There we go. Something you've ever tried, Scott?
No, never tried it, never fancied it. It's obviously working for this young man. And that's a good tee shot there, just almost hanging onto the fairway.
So, can Wright finish with a birdie, just to put a few pennies in the bank.
Up and after it. Another one drifts by on the low side.
Yeah, it's not been his day, like we said. He's played some good golf at times, as so many of the guys have. They haven't converted on the greens today. Disappointing day for him. There we go, 3 birdies, 3 bogeys. Round a level par, which is no disgrace, but not what he was looking for today.
Yes, what could have been. Now then, a birdie wins you the tournament, young man. Aaron Rye with his shot into 18.
Good rhythm, kept his rhythm there. Most important shot of the week for him.
Oh, just bit. Well, Hinton had a very similar lie, didn't he, into 18, and it released for him.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he just maybe caught that slightly bit squiffy, but bang on line. And here we go, putt to win.
Hinton watches on. If this doesn't drop, it's a playoff, and it's not going to even be given a chance. Maybe a little early to be texting, surely.
Yeah, very relaxed.
Still got some work to do. There's Goddard and Roebuck, watch on.
There's Haynes. Can he finish in a bit of style? No.
Oh dear.
A long journey home for him, I think, tonight. But he'll live to fight another day. He's a good player.
Aaron Rye's dad there, behind Matt Haynes. Congratulate him. Nice man, Aaron Rye's. Aaron Rye's self-effacing, and his dad's a charmer. Lovely man.
Curry then. Once again, just a player that it hasn't happened for. And despite all that confidence around the greens with the short stick in hand, just wasn't able to give himself the chances in the end today.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that. Just the solitary birdie there. And a great player, Chris, and he'll be back contending again this year, I'm sure.
This then to force a playoff, that it should come to this at the end of the day. Little knee knocker for Rye, copes with it well, and he and Hinton will head into a playoff together. And unfortunately for Aaron, that lead he had at the start of the day evaporating, but he's not out of it yet.
No, and a solid day. You know, you can't be too disappointed with that. He's given himself the chances and ultimately kept himself in there. Hug from Dad.
Oh, that's nice to see. Don't worry, son, not over yet. But we haven't had many this year. Playoffs, that is. And now we've got one. Craig Hinton versus Aaron Rye. That's what it's going to come down to. Both men finishing 3 shots clear of James Adams, who's going to take third away from this tournament all on his own. But this trophy still up in the air. It's a head-to-head. Hinton and Rye go at it after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to something of a rarity this season at the Glenfarclas Open, a playoff. Simon Golding, Gary Allison, Scott Drummond with you for this one, but the 2 boys on course that matter are Hinton and Rye, both finishing at 8 under for the day, and that means that they are going to go off and try and sort this one out. First playoff hole, Scott, 18th.
Yeah, 413 yards. We know it's a hole that's played above its par for the week. Straight tee shot here, avoiding the bunker and the tree on the right. A lot of guys hitting it through there onto the other fairway. Good angle in, up the hill, front centre pin here. Green sloping from the right. We've seen Hinton make a 3. He'll have some good memories going back to this hole straight away. Good par for Rye, but here we go. Let's see what the guys can do.
So Rye it is that gets the nod to tee off at the first playoff hole. And mentally, Gary, how will he be feeling now? Because, you know, he has let a big lead go today. We have to focus on that.
He has, but I don't think he'd done anything wrong. You know, level par. He's managed his game well. He's composed. I think he'll be feeling okay, but the butterflies will be there. First win, been on tour a couple of seasons. Tough.
Almost a carbon copy of his tee shot in regulation play. Hinton was in a very similar position as well from the tee. And both men striking the ball beautifully. You wouldn't believe that they're under a lot of pressure here in this playoff.
No, both looking very good. Looking very solid, and 2 good tee shots there. This is a good swing. Good fundamentals. Good balance. Good shoulder turn. Everything good.
It's a neat swing, Scott, isn't it? Beautifully balanced.
Yeah, very neat.
Up and down on line, on plane.
Yeah, not too much going on.
Bends and tweaks. No, it's good. So Rye from the semi-rough just needs a good contact to get this up onto the green.
A little slump of the shoulders there. And he's playing this hole virtually identically to the way he played it in regulation.
Yeah, Hinton some 20, 30 yards maybe closer here, certainly with the advantage, with the shorter iron, able to go at the flag a bit more.
Yeah, certainly had an advantage there with the wet fairways and the fact that there was lift, clean and place. He had a big advantage being able to clean the ball there.
Yeah, here's Rye. Again, another man who's got good balance in his swing. He did have a longer shot in there, much more difficult. I think he played it well. A couple of yards short of where he would have liked, but still in a good position here. Going with a chipper this time.
Match play situation then, this to put pressure on. Oh dear, that's the face of a man that thinks he might be out of this now. I don't know though.
No, you can never say. You can never say with the match play. But here's Hinton to win the tournament.
On its way. And, well, he'll feel that he didn't give that a chance. But tidy golf from these two at the first playoff hole. Money's on this one. Going to the 10th, which will be the next one up.
Yeah. Little surprised he didn't finish that one off then, actually, just to definitely put the pressure on Rye, but here we go. Little knee knocker for him.
Well done.
No problems.
Still in business. A little look across the green there to Dad, who's been supporting him all day long. But will it be the celebration that they were dreaming of? Done and dusted then. So both men with a par at the first playoff hole, and it means we have to keep going. Up to 10 then, Gary.
Yep, here we are. This lovely little par 3, 147 yards that we've seen. Again, back pin, difficult place. We've seen some trouble with the putting. Both of them will just want a good straight hit at the pin and then see what they can do on the green. It'll be interesting to see whether this hole sorts out our winner.
Now, last time up, Aaron just got his clubbing a little bit wrong. I wonder what he's going to do here.
Yeah, I think he'll be aware of what they've... Well, they'll both be aware of what they did last time and try and learn from it, hopefully.
Purposeful strike, but I don't think he likes it.
No, he doesn't look too happy with it. Oh,
goodness me, what is wrong with that?
That's a great shot, isn't it? Look at that. Straight over the stick.
Well, that's as good as
About
McKechnie's.
12 feet away.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. And that is pressure on now for Hinton. How does he respond?
Yeah, big pressure now, seeing the ball in there that close. Just a wedge or a 9-iron. Lovely smooth rhythm again. He's eyeing it up.
Oh, unlucky.
Yeah, over the top of the flag, you can see he wasn't expecting that to be long, but it's actually not a bad spot there, Gary.
No, not too bad. Bit of adrenaline, I think, kicks in. And again, we can see right under the pressure, this is good. Look how steady he is. Keeping through nice balance. Again, that typical sort of Rye three-quarter follow through the way that he swings the club. So now here we are, Hinton putting from the back fringe.
Good try.
Very good try. Not one he could be aggressive with, even though you know it's potentially to win.
He'll have to stand back and watch though, because Aaron Rye has a chance to win this tournament, but this again is a very tricky putt.
Yeah, I mean it's one he'll obviously be looking to make, but he can't be too aggressive with it. We've seen how slippery it is around this hole.
Oh, it's in. It's in. Well, that was really brave from Aaron Rye, because if that had gone past, he'd have been in trouble. But straight in to the hole, and Aaron Rye claims his first professional title. As you said, a self-effacing young man, very calm and collected, but that's a big moment. Rye then wins the playoff against Craig Hinton, and Hinton has to settle for a second place here at the Glenfarclas Open, but it's Aaron Rye that will be crowned the champion at the end of the day. And what has been a very interesting tournament with the weather to consider. The players have done really well to come out and put on a good show on this final day. Let's hear from the winner then.
I felt pretty comfortable during the week. I think the main difference this week was the short game. Short game was good. I had a few putts as well, which is always nice. played pretty consistently day 1, day 2. It was a little bit of a struggle today up until the end part of the round, and then finished off well, and it was obviously very nice making a 2 on 10 to win. I turned pro in 2012 as a 17-year-old and had a lot to learn, to be honest, and this tour has done that almost solely. So yeah, it's definitely had a big part in making me the player that I am at the moment, and hopefully I can kick on from this.
So let's take a look at how this week's result leaves the race to Desert Springs. Craig Hinton's second place gets him into the top 10, and a win's the thing for Rye. That 10k payday boost means that Aaron Rye is into a fantastic third place, leaving the top 5 of Dunbar, Connor, Rye and Wright, headed by the man who's been in the lead for the whole season, Gary King. Congratulations then to Aaron. That's it for our Scottish EuroPro jaunt. We head south of the border to Hawkston in Shrewsbury next week. But for now, from me, Simon Golding, and my co-commentators Gary Ellis and Scott Drummond, it's goodbye.